Oh na 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 na, yeah. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. Oh na na na. No, I don't have to worry when the sun come down, 'cause I know Jaja covering my town. Know a lot of people wanna bring me down, but them not strong enough to break my ground. I tell them people leave me go my way. I tell them leave me go my way. Oh na 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 na, yeah. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. Oh na na na. No, I don't have to worry when the sun come down, 'cause I know Jaja covering my town. Know a lot of people wanna bring me down, but them not strong enough to break my ground. I tell them people leave me go my way. I tell them leave me go my way. Oh na 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 na, yeah. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. I'm feeling fearless. Oh na na na. No, I don't have to worry when the sun come down, 'cause I know Jaja covering my town. Know a lot of people wanna bring me down, but them not strong enough to break my ground. I tell them people leave me go my way. I tell them leave me go my way.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, and welcome to Walkabout TV, where you can find your rhythm and find your tribe. I am excited to talk to you tonight about MoonSplash, your musical journey, and what you have in store for 2025.
Yes,
How are
yes.
you
There.
feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm amped up. Next week is the start. So we preparing. We getting ready. Getting my dancing shoes on. Getting my voice ready. All of that good stuff. So
Nice, nice. So I wanted to start off by asking you a couple of questions, like your passion for music. For music, it basically started at birth. Can you describe the first moment when you truly felt connected to music?
that can be broken down into different ways because I was connected to different types of music in different ways. Growing up because I grew up in the States. I grew up out here in Georgia in Atlanta, but I had spent a lot of time in Anguilla and also Trinidad. That's where my mom's from, so I spent a lot of time there. But I found a connection to like pop, but it all started from when I was around 3 4 years old. I started playing drums, not knowing what I was playing. I'm just kind of, what I'm saying, beating around. And as I got older, being in the States, I kind of developed more into that rap and the pop and the R&B kind of stuff. Um, but it wasn't until maybe a few years ago. I can't even say a few years ago, maybe like a year ago is when I, I took a trip to Jamaica one time. It sounds very cliche. I took a trip to Jamaica one time, right? And I got really into listening to reggae music. Something about it just kind of, and not the new. I love the Romain Virgo and Christopher Martin, all that stuff, but I'm talking the old reggae. Bears Hammond and Gregory Isaacs and all of that. Bob Marley, of course. What I'm saying, the roots kind of reggae, and that kind of just connected to me. It spoke to me in a different way that a lot of music didn't connect to me. I felt that. I felt that, the words, the emotion that they were trying to portray, the instruments, all of that stuff. So this was the most connected that I've ever felt to music. Now being older, really diving into my roots as I wasn't when I was younger. I was kind of dancing around in the States kind of thing, but now I'm 100% into my roots. So this is the most connected. I feel like we like this. We like this right now. So I would say about a year or two ago is when I really found that connection to reggae and soca music as well too. Soca music as well.
That's very interesting because I would have thought that your connection would have started a little earlier because, of course, you have that musical background with your dad.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And yeah, my dad, my father, Jay Brooks, Ras J, he was a drummer in Anguilla, coming up in Anguilla for a long, long time. Yeah, he was a reggae and soca musician. So, you would think, yeah, I would be into that, but I always heard it. I always listening to the songs, they playing the songs around the house, but it wasn't really me. I wasn't really trying to get into that. I decided to do the rap and stuff, but it wasn't until recently that I don't know. Maybe I just got older and matured, and I could really understand the lyrics and the messages and those kind of songs and stuff. It wasn't really about back then. It was just about the vibe. You dancing. You out here in the States, you're just kind of having a good time. But then you get a little bit older, you start thinking a little consciously, thinking about the things that you say and do, the messages that people bring into this world and stuff like that. So I think that's where the connection kind of came in.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that you took a trip to Jamaica, and that is when you kind of fell in love with reggae music from a more classical standpoint. How do you fuse those songs with your style right about now?
It's you know, it's an easy blend and a little bit of a tricky blend, because it's easy for me to bring that sweetness and that that kind of vibe, that smooth tone, as that's what my voice is. But now it's more so about trying to find a way to fuse in that sweetness to bring it in the message as well too. A message that actually means something, a point that you're trying to get across to people. Which I feel like it kind of balances itself out because it's appealing to listen to, if you know what I'm saying, if you have a nice voice and you have a sweet voice, and then it'll be good to, it helps get that message across. So I try to fuse those in. I try to fuse in my sweetness and, the R&B that I got from the R&B. And then now I take, the messages and the kind of things that people were talking about, from the Bears and the old people, Bob Marley and stuff. I kind of take those messages and the ideas that they had and kind of just try and fuse those into my genre that I'm used to, the R&B. Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. And I know that you performed last year at the Anguilla Summer Festival for the 50th anniversary. How was that experience?
That experience was it was an eye opener. You could say it was an eye opener. I would say that, but it was a great experience. It was kind of my introduction to the soca world, and carnival and stuff like that. And it wow, how to put it? It was a lot. That's the music industry. People would see it as there's a little bit of a letdowns. There's some letdowns and things that you thought were going to go one way, but it didn't, exactly go that way. But there's a lot of blessings that came from it as well too. So it was an amazing experience. I met a lot of people. I got my toes wet, performing for soca. I've done a lot of shows and stuff. I've performed rap and R&B and stuff before, but never for soca. I've never performed any soca music, and carnival environment is different. You can't really compare that to anything else. You know what I mean? Definitely nothing out here in the States. So it was an experience that I'll always remember, my first carnival. I'm glad I got to experience it there in Anguilla, with my family and stuff like that. So it was definitely a good experience.
So, do you think that you would stick to reggae as an art form, or you may delve a little bit into soca as well? How you
Well,
feel?
I'm not a fan of sticking to anything. I'm a very versatile person. That's the whole reason that I'm in this genre right now. You know, um, it started with soca. This reggae stuff didn't come about not too long ago. It was really soca first, and then reggae came. So I would like to find a way to do both of them. To find a mix, and I see that. You look around in the Caribbean artistry, and there's not many artists that prominently do both. Both soca and reggae, and do it well. You know what I mean? Sometimes they kind of just stay around on one side and maybe drop a few tunes of the other kind of genres, but they don't really, there's not really a balance there. I want to be, one of the first people to try and hone those skills, actually do it, you know what I mean, and be able to do it proficiently and well, So I don't want to say that I'm going to be sticking to reggae more or, to soca more and stuff like that. Although I will say it's a complete different feeling when I make the two types of music. You know what I mean? It's a different vibes. The soca is, partying and carnival and, good times. But then the reggae is real, it's raw. You know what I mean? It's raw, it's authentic, and I love authenticity. I love to make that kind of music. That's why it's very easy for me to make that reggae kind of music, because it feels like I'm truly speaking from the heart. So a lot of the things that I say in the reggae is just like it's a flow. So, but besides the point, I would still not want to choose between the two. I would love to continue to do both.
Sounds good. So the days are counting down. Next week is MoonSplash. It's the 35th anniversary of MoonSplash.
Yep.
It is a legendary festival here in Anguilla. It has attracted some of the most influential persons within the reggae and the music industry. And you will be performing on the Sunday at the beach party. So, how does that make you feel to be able to perform for the 35th anniversary of the Moonsplash Festival?
Uh, I'm ecstatic. I can't even tell you the words, and there's a history behind that too. There's a lot of history that's into play with that, and especially with Moonsplash in itself. I can't see any of the chat, and I don't know if you know, but do you remember where the first ever Moonsplash was?
Well, okay, if you're jogging my memory, I know that Moonsplash was originally a moving festival, and I believe it was on one of the keys. I don't want to misquote anything because these are things that I should know off the top of my head.
You're
But
close though. You're close though. It's okay. You're close. So the first one, the first one was on Sandy Island.
yeah, one of the
The
offshore
first one.
keys.
Yeah. You're right. And the second one was on Silly Key. But for the first and the second ever Moonsplash, my father performed on the first and second ever Moonsplash to come about. So it's a good feeling to be able to say, Dad, 35 years later, I'm going on the stage now. It's my turn to carry that flame. And it's funny that I say that now, because if you look back on one of my first interviews of when I was coming into this music and stuff, my biggest thing was, being able to carry that torch. He passing that torch down to me. I want to be able to make that torch burn brighter. You know what I mean? I want it to go aflame. So I'm glad that I get to now, start to step into these roles and, show people what I can do. You know what I mean? And I don't want them to just know me for Ras J son, or Sugar Brother. I want to be known as Jaylan Johann. Me. That's me. I have my own name. I have my own, who I am, as opposed to my family. So it's a very, very, very thrilling feeling that I have. I can't wait to see the people and to just sing, man, sing and spread the messages. I'm very excited.
And with all that excitement, you're making me excited. But I want to know, is there anything that the fans and the patrons of this festival can wait on for you? Like, what do you have in store for us?
There's a lot in store. There's a lot in store. First things coming up, I would say I will be releasing a song coming up Friday. It will be airing on all the Anguilla radios first. And you will be able to find it on all streaming platforms as well. If the people were in here before, I'm glad she picked that song. She played a little clip of it. It's Fearless. I'm going to be releasing that song coming up Friday. And then, in the coming weeks after Moonsplash and stuff like that, I'll also be releasing some more songs and things like that as well, too.
Okay, that sounds really good. So you're getting some fresh music just before the festival.
All
That's
right.
pretty good. That's pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
And you know your Moonsplash history, so I just want to ask you, are there
Okay.
any past Moonsplash performers that you are inspired by?
I don't want to lie and say that I do know, but I've done some research, but I haven't, I've never been to any moon splashes personally in store. I've seen a couple clips and things as I've done my research before coming onto this show. But as I told you, I'm very influenced by a lot of American, artists and things like that. And I'm also a guitarist, and I do know one year way back he had very well known John Mayer come to perform. That was one that I watched. And I liked that performance. It was really good. And also I know he's had a lot of other, large artists, Chronix and, Romaine Virgo. And those are very, very top names in my list, so although I didn't get to watch those performances, I didn't see any clips or any videos of those. I know the performance was great. I already know that, that was an amazing experience. I wish I could have seen that and I could have been there to experience it. But if we're talking about the one that I have seen, I would say the John Mayer, that John Mayer performance there.
Well, just to add to what you're saying, I honestly think that something people may not necessarily know is that the Moon Splash team has a good eye for scouting talent,
Mm,
because some of those performances, like the Romaine Virgos and Chronics, those artists attended the Moon Splash and performed for the Moon Splash Festival in instances even before they were breakout artists.
wow.
So you're
Mm,
on a stage that could really fast track your career.
right. It's a blessing to be able to see my name on a flyer for MoonSplash, to hear my name getting called. It's honestly a blessing, an unreal feeling. I'm still pinching myself. So
So let's take a deep dive into the creative process here.
mm.
Your music tells a powerful story, and you speak about love, you speak about struggle, you speak about resilience. I just kind of want to know, what is the songwriting process like for you?
The songwriting, it's kind of funny. It can be a little different, but for the most part, it's truly me letting my heart speak. I don't tend to write. I don't tend to write before I get to the studio and stuff. I'll be right here behind you. This is my bread and butter right here. I'll come home straight from work, and I'll have a rhythm or something from there, and it speaks to me in a way to where my heart can speak freely, and it is just, it comes out, it flows out, and it in the end, and I always say it's God, because I don't know how myself, some of these songs I listen back, and I just have to thank God for it, because I don't know how it has come about. Maybe it's the things in me that I have experienced that I don't know that I did, or I can't even tell you. But the process is pretty, like, free. It's very free. It's very creative. I try not to overthink. I try not to go too much into it. I feel if I find myself trying to study something too long, I'll back up. You know what I'm saying? I give it a break to let my mind be free. I don't like to have anything in a cage. I don't like to be feeling like I'm forced to finish this song here, or forced to, have it go this type of way. I like freedom. Freedom is very an expression of freedom as well too, is very important to me in my music and stuff like that as well. So the process is very free. It's very, there's no code, there's no color code to it, there's no formula. It's just um, a heart to heart conversation. You could say it's kind of like that. It's like a heart to heart conversation, because I let my feelings and emotions really come out in my music sometimes. So, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping, very very hoping, very soon to be able to share that with people, and let people know a little bit about how the way I think, and the way I see things, the way I feel, the way I process my emotions, things like that. A lot of things that men don't talk about, that is not, and that's the thing, is a lot of people don't want to say it, but men don't like to express their emotions, which is
That's
not, it's not a good thing, fellas. So I want to be that stepping stone to be able to express freely expressing yourself. So a little
and I
off topic of the process, but that's kind of the process there.
Yeah, that's fine. We're finding our rhythm. We're finding our rhythm. And I think with the genre of reggae, it opens up a different level of consciousness.
Right.
So all of that could be a part of the process of how you create the music, because it is awakening a different level. Your
It's
subconscious mind is able to release as well.
it's true. That's very true. It's a very good way of putting it. That's very true. It's very true.
And you briefly mentioned that men don't necessarily express themselves properly, or they don't feel like it's a safe space for them to express. So I kind of wanted to know how important it is to you to use your platform to spread the message of peace, authenticity, and unity.
100% important. If I'm not using my platform to that, I may as well not have the platform at all, because that's what I feel like a lot of these platforms are built up to be used for. It's influence, and you have the power to influence your people the one way or the other way. And it's all of the same thing to Armageddon. It's right or wrong, evil against good. So it's all, it's the most important thing, because nowadays, especially because social media is so powerful. So and I just, the message is the most important thing about music. It's the message that you're spreading, the image that you want people to see you, and the way that they see other people. So it's very, very important, because if people were spreading negativity like how they are in a lot of the people out here in the States, and in a lot of other islands and stuff, that's spreading the negativity, and a lot of the negativity that's followed the people that listen to that kind of music. So I think it's very important for people to have, and some people need guidance. Some people need guidance. And I know I'm only 24 years old, but I have I've experienced some things that people haven't. Even if it's not the worst things, I still experience things that people haven't. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things that I see differently than other people. And sometimes people just need another opinion. They need another voice, or another person to reason with. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important, because sometimes people need that voice to hear, to listen to.
And that's honestly, that's the truth. All of us have voices. We have some level of influence, and if we can all try our best to use it in a positive light, we could make change. We
Yeah.
don't have to make world changing change, but once we can make change within our communities, then we've done a good job.
Yeah, one person can change the world. Changing one person can affect the rest of the people. So that's true.
So on Moonsplash on Sunday, next week Sunday,
Hmm.
this would be the first time many people hear your music. And what is one word you would use to describe how you would hope to make them feel?
Hmm. Connected, I would say. Connected. I feel like there's a better word for that, but connected, as one. Um, because I feel like that's what, a lot of reggae music is. It's uh, bringing together, a way to bring together. And this is what this event is as well, too. It's a space, a safe space for people to come together, enjoy the one thing that everybody can agree that they love, which is reggae music. So, yeah, I want them to connection or unity. That's another word that can be together in it. So yeah, I would say connection, because I want them to really connect with me, and I want to be able to connect with the people, and for them to understand, and get the message that I want to bring across. And like I said, I'm starting out, so it may not be the most world changing message, but there is a message, so connection would be the word I would say.
That's great. That's
Connect.
great.
Mhm.
So what does the future hold for you after Moonsplash? What's next? Are there any new projects, hopes for collaborations?
uh
What's in the works?
I'm praying that we get some good collaborations. I'm hoping that this MoonSplash event brings some collaborations. There's a few names on that on that list, of people that's performing that night that I would love to, chat with for a little bit, and hopefully do some work with in the future. But as far as that, we have Atlanta Carnival coming up out here in March. Or sorry, excuse me, May. So we'll be planning. Hopefully, we'll be able to, plan to do that. We were around last year, so we're gonna see about getting on the stage again this year. I believe Kess will be coming out there this year, so hopefully we'll be able to open up for him. That'll be a nice one. But and I'm definitely gonna be coming back for Anguilla Carnival as well too. That's a definite. I'll definitely be back again.
That's
But I got a
good.
few projects as well too. We're working on an album as well. So I'm in workers mode right now. I'm working nonstop. But that's how I like to be. And I always tell myself, this is what I asked for. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to express the creativity. So I can't complain when I have the time and the need to express that creativity. So
Yeah, of course.
a lot in store, a lot of good things in store.
Of course. Is there anywhere in the world that you would want to perform?
That I haven't yet.
Yeah.
They
Like your ideal place to perform, destination, event.
I definitely I definitely have Trinidad Carnival on one of the lists. And then I want to go to there's an event held in Europe. I think it's the I can't remember the name of it. I believe it might be like Sunsplash, or there's another one, or Rototom. Rototom, I think that's one of them there. One of them big European events that I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Europe and experience Europe. I know that there's a lot of love for reggae music out there in Europe. So I definitely, that would probably be maybe above Trinidad Carnival, maybe. But as I said, one of those events in Europe. I can't remember the exact name. I believe it's called Rototom. But
Is
yeah,
it in Amsterdam?
I think so. Yeah, I believe it's in Amsterdam. Yeah, I have to do some more research on it. I've seen it for a few years. I've been watching it. I've been keeping an eye on it. It's slipping my mind right now. I can't tell you exactly where it's at, but definitely Europe. Europe is one place that I want to go that to perform. I just know that the love is so impactful out there. You could see it in the crowd when some of them people are on the stage, and just you could see the love for reggae and the love for artistry that they have out there. So I would love, no matter the race or the color, because the crowd is be full of all kind of different people out there, and you can see them no matter what. So I definitely want to get out there to Europe and test them waters. So
Sounds great. Sounds great. Do you have any advice that you would give a young Caribbean artist looking to make their mark within the music industry?
Stay consistent and always thank God for your accomplishments, and just don't give up. Don't give up, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities where you feel like you just want to throw it away. A lot of things get thrown back in your face. There's a lot of letdowns, but just always thank God for the amount of times that he's brought you there and got you to these places and given you these opportunities. Always think of the good sides of things, because it changes like this. Things can change like that. You know what I mean? So just continue to keep pursuing your dreams. If you really, really love it and you want to do it, the fire will never go out. It won't. It will never go out. Trust me, because I've been there and I felt that it might be going out, but it really doesn't. It stays lit somewhere back in there. So that consistency is really key. That consistency and believing in yourself. If you don't have confidence in yourself, then nobody else has the will to have confidence in you, because they need to see it from you first. So continue, push, have confidence, and always trust in God. That's all.
That's some amazing advice. We had an amazing dialogue about your future plans, your journey through music, what you have in store next. We're excited to actually see you perform next week, Sunday, God's willing, at MoonSplash 2025. And while I'm about to wrap up, I just want to know, where can persons find you on social media? People who may want to be connected with you.
Yep. So I'm on all social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. It's Jaylan Johann, JaylanJohann. It's Jaylan Johann. Jaylan Johann on all social media platforms, as well as Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Well, thank you, Jaylan. It was a pleasure meeting you and connecting with you here on Walkabout TV, where you can find your rhythm and find your drive. We will definitely meet up in person next week when you're on island for MoonSplash.
Sure.
Probably do some on-camera, in-person interviews at MoonSplash. So I wish you nothing but the best. Safe travels to your away from home.
Yes.
And until we meet again, thank you so much and have a pleasant night.
Thank you so much. You too.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Don't wanna bother with nobody. No time for chatty. Don't care what them my people say. Let just show me the way. The path to seeing brighter days. Asking Lord, give me strength. The strength for me to change my ways. I feeling fearless. So na. They try to shackle me to keep me bound. Them have no use on me now.